GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes. Hey everybody, welcome to this special edition of the Golf Dudes Podcast. I'm Joe Calabro, co-founder of GolfNewsRI. Thanks to you all for tuning in and hope you're all having a great week. Today we are here to present our findings from the Handicap survey that we did over the last 2 months or so, and we're super excited about it. So first of all, a couple of notes before we get started. Most importantly, thank you to everybody who participated over the last couple months. Thank you to everybody who shared it, who liked it, who copied it to their Instagram page, whatever it may be. Thank you to everybody. We had about 230 responses, which is a pretty good number, and we're possibly looking to add more to it next year in 2023 when we reopen the survey, but we'll get to that later on. Secondly, there's plenty more to come on this. This is the presentation, but we have a slideshow coming, and we have analysis from local golf experts on our findings, on our data, and that's all going to be coming over the next couple of days. So stay tuned to GolfNewsRI.com. Sign up for the e-blast if you haven't already, and obviously stay tuned to all of our social media pages as well for those things. So with all that said, I'm excited for the data. I'm excited to show you guys the data, and let's not waste any more time. All right, question one, we asked gender. We asked 190 men and 40 women. Going forward, if we relaunch the survey in 2023, we're going to try to make more of a push to get more women to do it. But for now, that is what we have, 190 men and 40 women. Let's hit the next slide. This was surprising a little bit, just because it was such a crazy difference. Do you watch golf on TV? 226 people said they do. 4 people said they don't. Of course, the caveat could be maybe they were watching Live Golf on YouTube. You never know. But that was surprising, just because it's such a wide, gap. Next question. This is where it gets fun. Those first 2 questions were just kind of the basic, kind of get to know you questions. This is where the fun stuff comes in. We asked people, how many times a week do you play golf? The low was just under 2 times a week, and the high was just under 4 times a week. So lots of people playing lots of golf during the course of the season. So 1.56 was the low, and 3.77 was the high. Again, that's average. So average low, average high. All right, next question. Let's go. Approximately how many rounds per year? Most people play around 68.42 rounds per year. So just under 69 rounds. Obviously, we have a few people that I know of who play about 200 times a year, but again, this is all average, and the average number of rounds per year is just over 68. How many days a week do you practice? This was interesting. Nobody really practices. It's the general consensus here. Everybody just plays, including myself. The average number of days people practice are 1.21, so just over 1, obviously. Perhaps that's why everyone's game stinks, because you don't practice. Practice makes perfect, as they say. But anyway, how many days a week you practice is 1.21. How old is your equipment? I thought this was really cool. Again, with these charts, SurveyMonkey did a great job, or Survey Planet, did a great job of putting the charts together. And so we asked, how old is your equipment? The options were 0 to 12 months, 24 to 36 months, and 36 months or over. And as you can see from the data here, 0 to 12 months, 63 people, 24 to 36 months is 92 people, that was the winner, and 36 months and over is 75 people. So most people aren't changing their equipment every year. Most people, as you can see, are changing equipment every 2 years or so or more. So that was certainly interesting, and the colors look pretty as well. All right, we're going to send this straight to Titleist over in Massachusetts. We asked people, what golf ball do you play? And Titleist wins in a blowout. 134 people are playing Titleist. We didn't get into specifics of what kind of ball, the Pro V1s, the NXTs, whatever. We could have done that maybe next time, but that would just, I think, be too confusing for people. But generally speaking, 134 play Titleist. I'm willing to bet most of them are playing Pro V1s. Callaway, 33 people are playing. Bridgestone, 14 people, including myself, play. TaylorMade, 20, and others, 29. I would be interested to know what the other is. Strixon probably, or something else, but anyway, Titleist wins it in a blowout. Do you have an established handicap? Yes. Overwhelmingly yes, 207 people to 23 people, so that wasn't totally surprising. But anyway, good to see everyone's participating in the handicap system. And this, another blowout, 195 people used the GIN app, used USGA's handicap app, GIN. The Grint had a few, and I'm wondering what other is. I don't know, I didn't even know M-Scorecard or Yahoo Handicap existed, to be honest with you, before I looked it up to put these questions together. I have heard of the Grint. I actually know somebody that uses the Grint, but GIN was dominant, as you kind of would expect. And last question, then we're taking a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with a few more. So what is your handicap? And again, another cool chart, pretty colors, and what this chart shows, as you can see, is the variety of people that we got to do the survey. Handicap from 0 to 5 was 31 people. Handicap from 6 to 9 is 50. 10 to 14 is 60. 15 to 19 is 49. And 20 and over was 40. So the majority of people that did answer this question or did this survey are anywhere from a 10 to, call it a 20 handicap. So right kind of in the middle. We have a couple of ringers, obviously, and a couple of real good players, but the majority of people that did this survey are right in that 10 to 20 range. So before we get on to the next question, we're going to take a quick commercial break. This has been a special edition of the Golf Dudes podcast as we present our handicap survey results. Stay with us for a few more data points. And welcome back to the special edition of the Golf Dudes podcast. We are continuing to present our survey results from the handicap survey that GolfNewsRI did over the last couple of months. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in. And again, we hope you're having a great week and hope all your Christmas shopping is done. So we're on to question 11. We have about 21 questions total. We did eliminate the last question just because it was too hard to keep people's information anonymous, just the way it was set up. So anyway, on to question 11. Do you play tournament golf at a local club was the question. 150 people say yes, 80 people said no, so pretty close. That was an interesting differential there, but that was pretty close. So most people play tournament golf at their local club. Public or private, we asked in question 12. This was almost 50-50. 136 people were public, 94 people play at a private club. So that was fascinating as well. Again, almost a 50-50 split there. That was very close. In fact, in just over the last couple of weeks, that was even a lot closer than what that shows. Pretty interesting stuff there. Question 13, we asked, do you play gross or net events? Obviously, gross is with no strokes. Net is using strokes. This was almost 50-50 as well. So 2 questions in a row were almost 50-50. Net was 135 people, gross was 95 people, so I personally played net, so I marked off net in that question, but again, another close kind of data there, and it's pretty interesting stuff. Do you play in a weekly league? Again, this is 3 questions in a row where the data has been so close, it's been neck and neck. 121 people play in a weekly league, and 109 people don't. I personally don't, But again, pretty close, and leagues are obviously a great way to get out on a weekly basis to play 9 holes, or perhaps it's an 18-hole league, I don't know. But it's a great way to get out and play and compete and learn the game of golf. So 121 to 109 is your result there. Things get interesting. At the end, we started asking about handicaps. This is really the heart of the survey and why we did it. Those first 14 questions were just warm-up questions. These are the real questions we're getting into now. Question 15, we asked, how important is your handicap to you? And again, if you look at the data, it's pretty interesting stuff. 89 people said it's very important. 87 people said it's important. 45 people said it's not very important. And then 9 people, handicaps don't really matter to them. I'm assuming those are the same people that said they don't have a handicap. I'm going to guess. So basically, most golfers and most of the people that did this survey feel their handicap is important to them. They pay attention to it. They know what it is. They keep track of it on a daily basis or a weekly basis, whatever it may be. And I believe that's what this data shows. So it's good to know that most people believe their handicap is very important. And again, another 50-50 question of just about, this literally was 50-50. Do you aspire to be a competitive golfer or play a comfortable handicap? Are you trying to win tournaments, or are you just showing up for drinks and to party? No, there's anything wrong with that. But 116 people are playing competitively, 114 people are trying to play comfortably. So really legitimately a 50-50 split. 49.6%, are trying to play comfortably. We can round it up to 50. So really a 50-50 split there. Pretty interesting stuff. And how important is your opponent's handicap to you? I always find this interesting because some people you play with and they're so worried about their opponent's handicap. Well, this guy's getting too many shots, etc., etc. My personal opinion is, well, let's just play. Let's just play the game and see what happens. But obviously, I understand people's frustrations with it. So we asked, how important is your opponent's handicap to you? And very important was 63. Important was 79. Not very important was 60. Those are my people. And don't care, let's just play was 20. So I thought that was interesting. Opponents' handicaps are not very important necessarily to most people, but they are important, they are significant. So I thought that was an interesting breakdown. Last question before another commercial break here. We asked, have you ever lost a match to someone who is over or under handicapped? So this happens to everybody. So everybody had an answer to this, although 54 people that said no, clearly that hasn't happened too, but just about everybody had an answer to this. 40 people lost their match to someone that was under handicapped, and 136 people, which you knew this was going to be the most common one, 136 people lost their match to someone who was over handicapped. So before we get to the next slide, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the handicap survey results, and we'll close the program and let everyone get on with their lives. This has been a special presentation of the Golf Dudes podcast. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the handicap survey results. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Paik.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
When we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National, you could not see 50 yards.
And welcome back to this special edition of the Golf Dudes podcast. we've been presenting the handicap survey results. Again, GolfNewsRI did this survey over the last couple of months or so, and we got some amazing data. And again, if you missed some of this, one, it's going to be on our website within minutes, and two, there's plenty more coverage of this to come. We have a slideshow, we have analysis, and a few other things as well coming over the next couple of days into the weekend. So don't worry, there's still plenty to go. And again, if you missed it, we're going to put this up shortly, and also there'll be these data points will be in a slideshow so you can scroll through at your own leisure. Question 19, we asked, do you give yourself putts? 105 people give themselves putts, 125 people don't give themselves putts. So again, another 50-50 breakdown. Pretty interesting there as we hit the next question. And then we of course had a follow-up with what is the approximate distance of putts that you give yourself. Most people give themselves putts within a foot, 153 people. 1 to 2 feet is 62 people, and 2 to 3 feet is 15 people, and no one gives themselves putts 3 feet or longer. I just needed a fourth data point there, so I put that in. I'm happy to see no one is giving themselves 4-foot putts. So anyway, 1 foot or less is the common theme here, which you kind of figured. I feel like that's probably appropriate and probably makes sense. We don't need to be out on the course for 7 hours trying to put in 1-footers, but you never know. Question 21, how do you feel about others giving themselves putts? And again, interesting. Most people are okay with it. As you can see, 46.7% here are okay with it. That's 107 people, as the data shows. But 29 people says they hate people giving themselves putts. They rather you putt it out. 55 people said they would prefer you putt it out, but they give you a putt. Then 38 people say, who cares, pick it up, let's move on. So that's what we have. And so interesting data. And again, so question 22, there is no question. We didn't put it in this presentation because it was too difficult to keep people's information anonymous, just with the way the results were set up in the survey. I was able to do it on the slideshow, so the slideshow that's coming up, you'll be able to see some of the answers, but for this, it was generally too difficult to do that, and obviously we want to keep people anonymous. And with that, that concludes our handicap survey results. Again, there's plenty more to come on this, so don't feel like, oh, I missed the whole thing. Number one, this presentation will be up on our website within a few minutes, approximately. So check it out there, and obviously we'll social it back out. 2, the survey itself, survey results themselves, I guess, can be found in a slideshow on our website as well. So you can scroll through it at your own leisure. You can look at the data and do whatever you want to do. And then 3, we're going to have local golf experts, if you will, local golf business people, including pros and others, provide some analysis of the survey, of the results, and that's coming over the next few days. So plenty of content coming on this, but thanks to everyone for tuning in for today's presentation. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope we made it a little bit fun. And thanks to everyone who participated and who shared it, liked it, whatever. So hope you all have a great rest of your week, great weekend, and get that Christmas shopping done. But anyway, that's all we got. This is the Golf Dudes Podcast.